Hi, everybody. I'm David Rhodes, Editor-in-Chief at Fire Engineering. This studio is brought to you by the Firehouse Subs and the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation. Enjoy more subs, save more lives. Find out more about restaurant ownership at www.firehousesubfranchising.com. I'm joined today by a couple of special guests. One I have known for quite some time, Miss Angie Bennett with UL. I've had the absolute pleasure of serving on several UL panels over the years, and after I got old, they decided to make me emeritus to make room for a more handsome, younger generation of firefighters, but I'm still very involved in the communication with them. And I'm also joined by Jesse Marcotte, who is also a Senior Education and Training Coordinator. Let's get started. Angie, how about those Braves?
Go Braves.
She is a diehard Braves fan. You guys know I'm from Georgia. She is not, but she has been a Braves fan since she was about 4 years old, I think, right?
Roughly, yes.
That's awesome. So she gets down and sees those games and just does an amazing job at UL Fire Safety Research Institute. So Angie, tell us a little bit about what your job is and what you have going on.
Sure. So my role is as the Senior Manager of Education and Training with Fire Safety Research Institute. And the team that I work with is responsible for the educational content that you see on the Fire Safety Academy, which is our learning management system. So if you've been following us over the last decade and you used to watch the training videos on YouTube, there's a lot more. We've continued over the years to enhance that content and try to find different ways that we can get that message out to the fire service. So we launched the first iteration of the Fire Safety Academy back in 2020, and this January we relaunched the platform, and it was really the first updates that we've done since 2020.
So tell everybody what type of material is on there. What can they learn? I know there's just tons of studies that have been done, and you guys take all the studies and then turn them into education. So it's taking the technical research and science and putting it in a format that a firefighter can actually learn and see what happens. So what are some examples of what you have?
Yeah, so our job is to take that research and distill those research reports that are hundreds of pages long and distill that down to something that's actionable for the fire service, so that someone can come in and take a piece of content that's 5-10 minutes long and walk out with some strategies and tactics that can make them safer and more efficient on the fire ground.
And that includes regular LMS learning style stuff, but lots of video, because you guys capture everything from the sensors to Dan and the team out in the field explaining what's going on. How in the world do you guys manage all those assets to get them into your LMS?
It takes a large team to do that. So we're have the benefit of getting all of that data from the research as it's done, and we have all that footage. I mean, they're capturing everything that happens during the experiments, and then we're able to take that down and pair that with real world examples so that we can show people applying it on the job.
Right. And you have those set up to where you can sort of get an overview, or you can go as in depth as you want to go to every little scientific detail and chart, right?
Sure. So one of the things that we did with the rollout of the new platform in January, when the platform was first launched, it takes a year to get a platform launched.
Right.
And by the time it was launched, we already had some things that we wanted to do to make it a better user experience. But we read every course evaluation that was done over those first 4 years, and we started to notice some trends we were hearing from our users, and we brought that to our training advisory committee, which is a group of fire service educators from across North America that help advise us on the content and the best way to get that message out to the end user. So one of the big changes that came out of this revision was breaking that content down into much smaller blocks of content. So instead of sitting down and taking a 45-minute or a 60-minute course, you can pop in and get 5 to 7 minutes of content on a topic, and then discuss it with your crew and the other people at the station, and then go do something with it.
Because research shows firefighters have a very small attention span.
We all do.
We have to keep it real. Jesse's the training coordinator and battalion chief at Northville Township Fire Department in Michigan, and he is also a senior education and training coordinator in a part-time capacity with UL. And so tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, so I'm very fortunate to be a member of the team at FSRI, and my experience started like most other people's experience with FSRI as that end user, as a person who's going through it on my own, and then transitioning into the position of training chief, and now finding a way to implement that within our organization. And after serving on the training advisory committee and really getting a front row view to this, basically what I do, in addition to getting a doctoral level education here on educational methodology, is assist with that development and assist with some of the ideas, how we can better implement or tailor the material that's out there for the average person in the fire service, regardless of where they're at, where they work, what their community looks like. How do we get that back to their hands? So,
right. Angie, I know your background was in education and design of these things. How important is it for you guys to have actual firefighters as part of your team when you're putting this stuff together?
Yeah, it's huge. The Training Advisory Committee is a great example of that partnership, but it's important for us to have people that are actually, as training officers or company officers, that are taking the content back and getting it out there to their departments, and firefighters that are consuming it to help us know if we're hitting the mark and getting that message out. So to make sure that it's on point and it's something that can be put into practice.
So what's next? What's next for you? What do you have back in the hopper? I know how long you've been working on this, and now you've got it hopefully pretty close to where you want it. So what's the next step in this whole process? Signing up more people, or I'm sure you guys have a lot.
Sure. So from the initial launch back in 2020, we had a huge following. We had over 110,000 users.
This is international.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yes. And we'd issued over 350,000 certificates for course completion during those first 4 years. We had membership from over 25% of the fire departments in the U.S. participating. But since the launch in January, with the new features, we've seen a huge surge in interest. In that first month after the launch, we had another 20,000 users sign up. So we're constantly trying to find ways to get more people exposed to the content. One of the new features allows for group delivery, so people can present the material to a group and everybody could still get individual credit, which was something that we heard from the community that they wanted. So that's helping get the message out to more people as well. We're actively working with departments to get third-party LMS integrations set up so that it's easier for people to access without having to go to multiple locations to get the training.
Right.
So all of those things are helping us get the message out to more firefighters, which is really the ultimate goal.
And you may wonder, well, what's the catch? What do we have to do to sign up, and how much does it cost?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Nothing costs nothing, right? No, UL is, FSRI has put the resources and the time in. A lot of these projects were grant-funded projects, so the education that has come from that is available to you for simply signing up and creating an account, right?
Exactly.
So what's the latest program that you've been able to get up and launch, Jesse?
There's a number of programs that have been up and launched recently, and one of the things that I think is really neat, and my initial entry into the Fire Safety Academy had to do with the class, understanding the structural stability of engineered lumber and fire conditions. Mm-hmm. So a lot of those legacy courses are now being updated to just provide even more relevant and timely information, and then broken down in the sections as well. So now I can watch 12 minutes on building construction if I don't have the full 60 or 90 minutes to watch the full lesson. And so really modernizing those courses, and then also making them modular. Those are some of the newest features, and some of the features that I think are easiest to integrate into our organization or to any fire departments, anywhere around, as you said. So the collaborative nature of it and being able to talk through it with the people that you're working with. The original version was fantastic, and I've had a number of those certificates myself, but now we can do it together in the same room. Who has a question, answer, we're good, and keep moving. And then at the end, everybody still gets credit. So fantastic resources.
Awesome. So you take a course, you're able to get a certificate for it. So no matter what training platform you have, you can submit that certificate and it tells you how many hours you have, and that's good for ISO credit hours or whatever your particular state will accept. So tell me a little bit about other partnerships. I mean, one of the staple sayings has always been, research with the fire service. So I know the panels have representation from all over, and I don't know if you guys got to hear it, but like whether it was my keynote or the other two keynote speakers, just about everybody that presents something references Fire Safety Research Institute information. And also, what are some of the other partnerships besides just the individuals that are on the panels?
Yeah, so one of the partnerships that we've had over the last few years is with IFSFI. So we did the Understanding and Fighting Basement Fires course in partnership with them. And then most recently, we did the Evidence-Based Structural Firefighting course, which is based on NFPA 1700, which was a collaborative effort with ISFSI. So we did the online component, and they were responsible for doing the hot training that followed.
Awesome.
And one of the neat things about that too is even the Engine Company Operations program was also a partnership with ISFSI, and that resulted in 10 more of the hose string props being built at state fire training academies around the country. So now there's a resource there, not just for that initial delivery of training, but now there's a way to sustain that training over many years,
right.
Which is fantastic.
And we have one of those props right here in Indianapolis from last year's class.
Well, we used it on Monday and Tuesday.
Yes, and then we had the Fire Dynamics Boot Camp Monday and Tuesday here, 110 students over 2 days, which was absolutely phenomenal. And, you guys are leaving the props, and the students got to take the curriculum, but the Indianapolis Fire Department is going to keep those props. And I'm not talking about some toys here. We're talking about a house, a flashover simulator, and some small metal burn training, like some dollhouse style burn things. So if you had one main message that you would like to get to the fire service about what you're doing and what this means to the fire service, what would it be?
I would say that, I've been that young firefighter or even like the senior firefighter on shift. And as you move through, I, for one, was always asking, why should we do this? Why shouldn't we do this? When should I break a window? Should I break a window? Should I turn the fan on? I don't know. Right. And the reality is all of those answers, all those things that I had questions about, there's information that exists on it, and you don't really have to hunt for it or do some computer coding. You just have to go to the website. So you go to the Fire Safety Academy website through FSRI, and all that information is there. I can click the filter that will take me to the topic I want: building construction, ventilation, fire suppression, and instantly at my fingertips is this free resource. So my biggest message as somebody who's in the fire service is there's no reason not to be involved with it. Cost isn't the reason. Time isn't the reason. The quality of the content isn't the reason. It's all there. It's all made for the fire service, with the fire service, and it's just an incredible resource.
Of course, this is the Fire Department Instructors Conference, and I've had people ask me all the time, they're like, where can I get this video? Where can I get that? Don't you guys want people to get your videos and use them in their training presentations?
Absolutely. And one of the things that you'll see with a lot of the courses now is that there are supplemental resources that are available to download. And some of those are mini lesson plans and resources that instructors can use if they want to teach that content. And coming within the next year, we'll be expanding that resource library so that we'll have more resources available for instructors to make it easy for them to get to and easy to integrate into their existing curriculum.
Awesome. So for everybody that has looked at this before, please check it out. It's refreshed, and we are going to wish you guys the best in your upcoming year. I know you've got a lot on your plate as always, but I can remember when this organization was 2 people, and how many you have now? 40?
More than that.
More. It's just unreal. FSRI, they're doing the research. They are saving lives with this. in upgrading our training. So please, please use the resource. I'm David Rhodes here with FSRI, Angie and Jesse, and we're live at FDIC.